If you're listening to this message and you're planning your wedding, I want to advise against utilizing Save the Date postcards, and I'm going to tell you why.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello, hi, it's Ruby from Brewer-Watkins.com, where I offer wedding stationery and wedding day details for engaged couples looking for a full service wedding stationer to help them with their invitations from custom design to mailing, along with wedding day of details. Welcome to another episode of my very new YouTube podcast. Here on this channel, I'm so excited. I believe wedding invitations are so much more than printing. It's a rite of passage. It's a celebration. It's setting the tone. My goal on this very new YouTube podcast is to build a community of listeners who also believe in making their wedding stationery or their life celebration more than paper. They really want to put some thought into it, and really answer questions to help troubleshoot all of the logistics behind many of the questions that come up with the process of planning out your wedding invitations or a day of stationery, or any type of event, celebration, any type of printed paper that you need. The stationery that we mail it impacts guest responses, attendance, the dress, the anticipation. It really does build up to get everyone geared up for just excitement and a good time. So I am excited to get this channel moving forward. I have a few episodes down, and I'm just now kind of getting things back up and running and just making, my presence here, and this is long overdue. But this particular episode will be fairly shorter. I'm in the process of really moving things around so I can really make this a really nice community. But today's episode was very impromptu. I have a message on my heart and my mind that I really want to share with the world in case this may help an engaged bride or a couple or anyone that's helping someone plan a wedding out there somewhere. So I work with couples who are looking for something really unique and custom designed. And most of my clients that approach me that are particularly for their wedding, I would probably say most of them have already started the process of getting their save the dates out in the mail. And they realize in that process that it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of logistics behind the actual card for the save the date, and they don't want to go at their wedding invitations alone, or they need the help of a professional. And so most of the time, by the time I get couples, they already have started that process of getting their save the dates out, or they already have something in mind. And I also get clients who need to save the dates, and they just need someone to help them do everything, from A to Z. But so I particularly have a couple, and just wonderful. I'm blessed for each and every couple family that invests in my services. I never take that lightly. So it's always such a great joy to get any new client onboarded and get them started. This particular couple had already had their save the dates gone out in the mail, and there's a little bit of I don't want to say a horror story behind it, but there was so much that went wrong. And my client had poured so much time into the design and the card, and got it out in the mail, and it just didn't, the cards weren't mailed, and they didn't reach their intended guests, or the potential guest list that they had hoped. And we were discussing all the things that kind of would happen and how they got to that point. And turns out that the couple had mailed Save the Date postcards. Save the Date postcards are actually very popular. A lot of couples utilize them, but there are a lot of couples who don't realize until after the fact that Save the Date postcards aren't really a good idea. I think initially in the beginning, when couples decide on the Save the Date postcards, they're thinking of convenience of an actual printed card, and it's You don't need an envelope, you don't need postage, it just goes out in the mail and it's done. But if you put so much time and energy into the design and even the cost of a save the date and then turn into a postcard, it could be a little bit, and your guests don't get it, it could be a little bit heartbreaking to find that most of your postcards weren't delivered, quote unquote, or lost in the mail and so on. And I'm gonna, I can understand the need for going that route, but it's something that I definitely don't recommend. So if you're listening to this message and you're planning your wedding, I want to advise against utilizing Save the Date postcards, and I'm going to tell you why. Nothing is a guarantee when it comes to the mail. We're dealing with the post office here. Things truly do get lost in the mail, but postcards is literally at the very bottom of the barrel when it comes to successful delivery. This particular postcard that I got, and I had my clients, sometimes my clients send me a sample of their save the dates, and I have got one today. I went to I already knew the story behind the save the dates. I went out today and got my mail because my client sent me their version or a copy of their actual save the date card. And this time it was actually in an envelope. Because obviously, she wanted to make sure I got it. And when I went to check my mailbox, guys, my mailbox was full. First of all, I live in a community where I don't have the luxury of having my mailbox outside my front door. I just don't. But I went to go check my mailbox and I have a ton of mail. And I went to grab all of my mail and I was able to flip through it and see all of the things that were for me or for my husband and go through it. And I saw my client's envelope and I opened it and I saw a beautiful save the date card. It's pretty. It's so gorgeous. The way it was designed is just absolutely gorgeous. She did a fabulous job. My client is very creative. And I flip it over. It's a really nice design on the back, and it's clearly a postcard. And I can see why, or what the possibility of why it's possible that some of her guests did not receive it. Postcards, if this was just sent by itself in the mail, this could have easily gotten lost in a stack of, what do you call those circulars? The circulars that, that are coupons, different type of magazines. It would have easily got stuffed and lost in that, number one. It also gets stuffed and lost just in general in the process of mail because of how small the card is. The card is pretty small. It's not I don't think this is a 5x7. Yeah, it's small. It's smaller than the size of a standard invitation. So, and it's a postcard at that. So it's even more so the fact that it's smaller. I can see this being easily tossed in with mail that people throw away. And I'm thinking that's probably what happened. Many of her guests either just did not see it because it probably got stuffed and blended in with mail that people would normally toss, or it just probably got lost in the shuffle because of how small the card is, and it could easily get stuffed with someone else's mail and just lost. And by the time a guest actually do receive it, what typically happens with the postcard is that postcards are ran through machines, and they also get, they go through a very strenuous process, especially postcards. It's kind of almost like media mail. It gets really dirty. And for a design such as the one I'm looking at, I just hate that that could even be a possibility because of how pretty it is. So it's like all this work, and what it needed was an envelope and a postage stamp, just a little bit more to it. And that would have increased the probability rate of her guests receiving the save the dates. So we don't want that to happen for her wedding invitations, and I'm so glad I'm able to do them for her. I have a few different things that I like to put in place, a few different processes that I put in place to make sure we're as thorough as possible to at least lower the chances of someone not getting their mail. So that's really what I wanted to just share. For someone who's, listening to this message, I did say I wanted to keep it short. And let me know if you have some questions too, because I want to help troubleshoot. That's what this channel is for. I created this channel for a number of reasons. There are a lot of things that I'm able to do, and I just don't want to keep this all to myself anymore. I've been doing this for a long time, and I really want to be of service. I mean, most of what I do is service-based, is service-oriented, and so I'm really creating this space for you. So if you're engaged and you're getting married, please steer away from the postcards. They're so nice. You want your guests to save the date, number one. Number two, get the card, especially if you spent time putting together something so lovely and you want your guests to receive it. The postcards is at the very bottom of the priority level. I hate to say it, but it is true. Have you ever received a postcard in the mail? Tell me, what did you do with it? Generally speaking, if you did, a lot of it gets stuffed into, circulars and things like that. I'm telling you, they get lost so much more easily than a nicely, piece, printed piece that's in a nice envelope with postage. It just has it has protection too. Your card doesn't get dirty. It doesn't get trampled on. There's just so much more. And this is exactly why when I do my wedding invitations, I do liners. I do a lot of layers to make sure that, your mail stands out in a guest mailbox. So anyway, I'll keep this short. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening. I'm going to pause this for now, but I'm going to come back. This is one of the first few podcast videos that I have. I've been having so much, I guess maybe I make it a little bit difficult for myself. I've been wanting to do so much more, but I've been having problems with my technology. So I have to invest in a couple more pieces of tech to really be more efficient. And I'm literally right now just kind of using my phone to record. I didn't want to keep going a day without contributing to a space where I know will be beneficial for you. So more to come. I'm going to brainstorm a few more ways on how I can be there for you. But I hope this message finds you in really good spirits, especially if you're planning your wedding. Make this a journey, make this fun. And I will see you next time. And thank you so much again, and later. Bye.